Ngenda Nyambe is a transformational leader with a quiet but powerful presence in Zambia's financial sector. As Managing Director and CEO of Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, he brings more than 25 years of experience in banking, spanning global markets, development finance, and public sector banking. His career has taken him through some of the most respected financial institutions in the country. But beyond the boardroom and balance sheet, he's a man shaped by humble beginnings, inspired by strong role models, and driven by a desire to see Zambia thrive. Today, we take a seat at the table with Ngenda to learn what has kept him moving forward, what he believes good leadership looks like, and how he's embracing change in both life and business.
My childhood was very interesting. It was quiet. I was a very quiet young boy with a handful of friends, most of them classmates in primary school. And I never thought much about leadership then because the only people that I had were my parents, my mom and my dad. They were working class people. And that's really all I had immediately, plus my, my aunties and uncles who were also working. So I knew this thing about work. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew people went for work. All I focused on was school. But as I grew up, I started realizing that I go to school in order to work one day. And obviously the grades were important. So I was told, get good grades so that you can get a job. So that's how I started thinking school is not just for fun, but you need to pass, you need to get good grades so that one day you can get a job. So I think that's what prepared me for this work life. And it was interesting because I was under a bit of a strict regime. So that I focus on the grades. So it was a bit closed, I think, in a way. But of course, I found my ways to play and get home before 5 so that I'm not caught being naughty. But yeah, it was a quiet childhood. I think that's what I'll say. Well, as time went on, I started looking up to people. I think the first one that really caught my attention was an aunt of mine, my mom's young sister. She used to come home. We used to live in North Mid, and she would come home from University of Zambia. I used to hear the word. I didn't really understand what she was doing there, but she would come home. But then I think when she finished university and she got a job and she started working and she had an apartment or a flat, and then she would call me and my young siblings to visit her or go on holiday when schools are closed. And I'll just find her at her house with this fresh-looking furniture, television. Everything was new, and she was working. She was a graduate working. So that sort of triggered something in me, like, wow, I would like to do this one day. And incidentally, she was working in a bank. So maybe she planted that seed, me being a banker. And my mom was in the bank as well. In fact, they worked for the same bank, Zambia National Commercial Bank. So I think that planted the seed in me. I think I wanted to become a banker one day. Although my mother said I should never become a banker because it's too risky and don't ever do it. But, sometimes in life, the more they tell you not to do something, the more you want to do it. So I think that's what happened. Yeah, so it's been rough, this leadership journey. There's always ups, there's always downs. And I think my style has always been things happen for a reason. And no matter how tough things are, you just have to be strong, and you have to focus on the end game. I remember once I was asked at a very young age to lead a team, and I happened to be the youngest person in the team because there was a sudden movement in the leadership. Our boss had left. And I asked myself the question, why me? And I had to seek help from these elders that I was leading, to work with me. And I asked for time out. We went out of Lusaka. I think it was in Chisamba. And we sat down, and I was like, look, you guys know more than me. What do I know? I've just been put in this situation, this position. And without you guys, we're going nowhere. It was a very difficult time for the institution that I was working for, and for the team. And they were like, look, don't worry. We've got your back. Just respect us, and we'll respect you, and we'll succeed. So I think my style in times of crisis especially is to just rally the team together and reassure them and tell them that together we can defeat whatever is around us. If we try and do it as individuals, we're going to fail. So I've built team after team using that principle, stronger together. And if we do things as individuals, we'll simply disintegrate and we'll all be losers. So my style is let's just focus on the task and work together. I think what's kept me growing is hunger for more, and not being satisfied with where I am. I've always said with each team that I've worked for that, you see, I always ask myself when I'm in the job, like, what's next for me? I always ask myself, what's next? Because being too comfortable sometimes, I always think it's better you move yourself than people come and move you, because moving you could be a promotion, it could be a demotion, it could be a lateral move, or you can get fired. So the best thing is, tell yourself what your next move should be and focus on it, get help for it, but succeed in what you're doing. Whatever you do, succeed in what you're doing. Make sure you leave the position you're in a better place than you found it. And make yourself irrelevant. Build a team around you. Don't be the superstar. Like, this place is nothing without me or without you or whatever. Build capacity, so that if you are not at work, things move seamlessly. If there's a vacancy and they want to promote you, you've got a succession plan. You can point at someone and say, you know what? There's this person. I trust this person and I know they can do the job. But if you're the only superstar and, you want to be indispensable, I think you do yourself injustice. You do people that want to grow a great disservice because they will not grow, and you frustrate a lot of people. So I try to build capacity all the time. And when you do that, I think you progress in life. Well, transformation for me speaks to change. It's a little bit of a cliche now. Change is the only constant. We live in a constantly changing world, and you have to be prepared for change, for transformation. And it's two-way. Your environment is changing, and you have to move with it. You have to change as well. You have to adapt. The company has to adapt. Your team has to adapt. Your clients have to adapt. So it's a whole ecosystem of things, a whole chain of things that have to adapt to change. And so for me, I think I embrace transformation. Things have happened in my career where we are downsizing, or, the polite word these days is right-sizing. You lose colleagues, you close outlets, or maybe you open more, you grow more, you need more people. So for me, I just take it on the chin, because it happens. You go to bed today, you wake up tomorrow. There's tariffs all over the world. There's a trade war. Who would have thought, you know? So what are you going to do to adapt your business to this, to adapt your country to this, to adapt your people to this? So it's a consistent conversation because change always happens. Look, work is stressful. There's a lot that we do. It's always hard sometimes to get out of bed and, you know, you just feel like you've just slept for 2 hours, you know, but you've got to get up and head to work. So what I do in my spare time, I think, is my me time. I'm very selfish about it, selfish with it. I do a lot of things. I used to play a lot of golf. I'm trying to get back now. I think I haven't played in almost 8 months, but I'm trying to get back to golf. It's just beautiful. I love the breeze. I love walking along the course, jokes with fellow golfers. That keeps me grounded. It keeps me relaxed. Of course, there's family, you know. There's always something happening with family, immediate family or extended family. That keeps me busy. I like to go to church on Sundays. I think that just releases me from the daily routines and it helps me prepare for the week and pray about things. I've got a lot of people that I know, very few friends, but I've got a lot of acquaintances. They want to meet for a meal. They want to meet for a drink. Watch a game of football. I love football. So that's another good pastime for me. And visit family, extended family. That also helps me get away from the daily hustles and bustles of banking and working life. So that keeps me grounded, that keeps me sane, and it helps me prepare for the next day. Yeah, I think good leadership, for me, good leadership inspires the next generation. That's what good leadership does. Other than delivering the targets or the aspirations of today, I think good leadership inspires. Good leadership gives a good example to those that are coming, you know, behind us. That's what good leadership is. For me, you know, there's a saying, there's no success without a successor. I've never left a job or a company stranded. There's always someone ready to take over. Certainly in my banking life, I've never left a job and an outsider, and by outsider, I mean someone outside the bank, outside the institution comes and takes over from me. There's always that next person that's going to take over from me because, there's no success without a successor. And what is best than one of your own team members taking over, because it also inspires the third layer, the fourth layer, and everybody in the organization. That's what I believe. So good leadership is leading by example. Good leadership is sacrificing your time. Good leadership is making time for your people, for your clients. Good leadership is not a blame game. Good leadership is not destroying careers, but building careers. Of course, there are difficult conversations. There are people you just have to part because you've got differences, you know. You're not on the same page, or they're unprofessional, or something really wrong happens and you have to part company. There are those difficult situations. But let it not be because of bad leadership, but because of a bad student or a bad apprentice. So good leadership, I think, fixes a lot of things. Good leadership, everybody can see it. They can see that it's real. They can see that you mean well. And good leadership is people trusting you, as well as you trusting your own people. I think be yourself, you know. Don't try and be, my name is Ngenda. I can never be somebody else, you know. If I look up to, I don't know, what example can I give? If I look up to the owner of Apple, for instance, very successful company. I can never be that person. I can just learn what they do and then, adjust their attributes to my situation. I can never be that person. I can only be Ngenda. So be yourself. Be yourself. Learn from other leaders. They'll give you tidbits. They'll give you leadership, guide on how they made it. And not everything will work for you. Tweak it to your surroundings and make it work for your situation. There's no one size fix all. There's nothing like that. Otherwise, we'd all just buy books and watch videos and become great leaders, right? Because the script is there. But situations are different. So to people out there aspiring for leadership, I think be real, be yourself, but borrow ideas, adapt them to your situation, and make sure that they work for your situation and you succeed. So my advice, just be you and do you.